Hey guys, so today I want to talk about the subject of soaking your snake. Sometimes it can be very important to soak your snake. Obviously, it's not like a daily or regular thing or anything, but sometimes there's a need to soak your snake for some reason or another, whether it has mites or for another reason. But there are a few factors that's very important when soaking your snake. And these are safety factors. You definitely want to think about them before you soak them, especially when they're babies, because you want to make sure that they're not going to drown. So let's get to it. So first of all, if you're putting a snake on a tub or bin or whatever, and they don't have anywhere to go, and they have to swim in order to stay afloat, that's a sign right there that it's way too much water. Your snake's gonna get tired out, and if left there for a good amount of time, your snake could possibly drown. That's definitely a risk that you're taking, especially if they're being unsupervised and just left in the tub. Some people, unfortunately, have come back from, leaving their snake soaking and they came to a dead snake. So you definitely don't want that happening to your snake. I know, because I love my snakes. I love all my animals. I definitely don't want anything bad happening to them. So one thing that you got to keep in mind is the water level. You want to make sure you have enough water for them to soak in, but that they can put most of their body, like they can secure themselves. I don't know if you can see it, but he can secure his body. His body touches the ground, and as you can see, he can put his little nose up. He could have put all his head up if he wanted to, but the key thing here is to just make it above their body, not like crazy deep, but just enough that it goes above their body and that they can soak all their body in it. And that way it's a more successful soak, if they want to, go in there. And make sure that they can get out if they want to. You definitely don't want them to be stuck. So just make sure that the bottom is definitely touching the ground and that they're not struggling to stay afloat. Another thing too, which is number 2 on our list, don't add anything to the water. Definitely leave the water as is. Adding something, sometimes the snakes will drink water while they're soaking, and depending on what it is, you definitely don't want your snake drinking that. I know even if it's natural, some people like to put oil in the water. I mean, that's up to you. Everybody do their own thing. But me personally, I definitely advise against putting anything in the water, and just, have a nice warm water, not hot water, warm water. So point 2 is leave the water as is. Don't add anything to the water. Make sure it's clean water as well. And I think that goes without saying. And especially number 3, you want to make sure that they're being supervised. I know if you put a bowl in there, inside their enclosure, that they're able to come and go as they please. But if you're soaking your snake in a tub or a bin or anything like that, you definitely want to be supervising your snake, especially babies. You definitely do not want to leave your snake soaking for a super amount of time unsupervised. Definitely be able to check on them. It's very important. And another thing to consider as well is if your snakes have mites. There are obviously other options out there for mite control. There's also, a lot of people don't know this because a lot of the, the chemicals you know, for mites are out there, but there's also, and it has worked for some people, something called predatory mites. There are a couple different types of them, and for snakes, it's a specific type. I just don't remember the name. I might look it up and put it in the description once I'm done with the video. So definitely check that out. The name will be there. And they seem to have, you know, good success. But this is not a mite video, so I'm not going to really get into that. And another thing that's really important when soaking is not only watching them, making sure the water is clean, make sure the water is warm, and, you know, making sure the water is not too deep so they don't drown, is don't put the water too warm, because sometimes even your reptile can be cold and you don't want them to shock. A lot of people really don't think about that, and that's totally normal, you know, but sometimes, you know, you definitely need to, you know, think about, is this too hot? Is this too cold? Because they might go into shock. So you definitely do not want to do that. So these are some of the pointers that I feel like it's very important when it comes to safety when soaking your snake. So I hope, at least for, you know, if you have a fur snake and you don't really know, you know, what's soaking and whatnot, I would definitely keep these things in mind. And if you have any questions, you can definitely leave a comment and ask me anything that you would like to ask. I also am on Instagram on Python Struck. That's the name. It's Python_Struck. And you can also communicate with me in there as well. So I wish you all the best, and definitely keep in mind about safe soaking. Snakes don't really need to be bathed. In fact, they don't need to be bathed at all. They take really good care of themselves in that department. So you really don't need to worry about that. But when it comes to soaking, you know, some people bathe their snakes, but, you know, I really don't think they need to be bathed, but that's just a personal opinion. But, you know, but when it comes to soaking your snakes, these are definitely one of the main pointers. If I left something out, please do leave something in the comments section. If something else worked for you, or if there's something that you want to, you know, bring aware, definitely bring it aware. I'm open, but I just thought to put those main subjects and pointers out there to keep in mind with the safety of your snake in mind, first and foremost. Thank you so much, and have a great day, and give your puppy noodles lots and lots of hugs. Bye, guys. Siegert says, out.